just ask a real quick question, real quick answers. Where would you give Phase 4 overall letter grade? Start with you, Zach.
Letter grade overall, I think it's the second best phase, so I'm gonna give it an A.
Crom, Brandon.
I will have to agree with an A. I think this was probably. I like how it was a little more experimental in the sense that, you know, Feige kind of hung back and let some of the directors some of the filmmakers do their thing. Like I said, Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, even though I was kind of mixed on it, I love that it was a Raimi film through and through. Cheers, Andy. I loved how, I loved the TV shows. I loved how trippy and mind-bending things like Loki and WandaVision were. Even though it, you know, even Eternals, as mixed as responses all of us have on that, I think maybe like Zach and I are the only ones that are really on the same page about Eternals. But I do appreciate, you know, what it ultimately.
I think on the same page. It's just a lower,
rather,
so much
you know,
lower page.
Hang on. But overall, I really appreciate what this phase really. It tried different things, and I really respect it for that. And I have to, you know, it ranged from, you know, kind of falling flat to kind of falling mid-level to completely even just kind of doing fan service correct, like Spider-Man No Way Home. So it was very much a mixed bag, but it's a mixed bag I myself returning to over and over.
Okay, Brian.
Most of these movies I'm not going to watch again.
So where are you giving it? What? Where?
B-. It's a B- for me. It'll end up being B, but just none of those are the things I'm going to want to watch again. I love Marvel, so I will watch some stuff, but like I watch, you know, Doctor Strange all the time. I watch Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 all the time. I watch Thor Ragnarok all the time. I watch I said Ant-Man and the Wasp. I can watch Iron Man anytime. Like, there's some movies that are just I enjoy, and you know, Endgame is probably the greatest movie I've ever seen out. Any Marvel movie out, anything, you know. So like, Infinity War is like the second greatest one. So like, I can't give it an A. No. Like, unless you guys are ranking it like giving an S is an A, and I just don't see this as an A. I see this as in between. This is going to get us from where we were to where we're going to be, and I think Phase 5 is going to be an A. So that's it.
Yeah. I mean, very experimental, like Brandon said. They did some good things, but they missed out on a lot of the other things. And rewatchability, I don't know if that's a word or not, but same thing. I don't know if I could rewatch a lot of it. You know, Shang-Chi, No Way Home. That's about it. You know, like, that's really about it. I mean, I watched the holiday special again, but I don't know if I'm gonna watch it anytime soon again. I might probably give it a B as well. You know, this phase is a transition phase. I don't know if a transition phase could be good to that level. Like, it needs to do what it needs to do, and it needs to introduce people and tell stories that are needed to get to where you want to go for the next phase. Phase 5 and 6 are going to be epic. Yeah.
Epic. Exactly.
Yeah. But, you know, I did appreciate them trying different things. Now, as we find out, was it really Kevin Feige allowing it? Or was it Bob Chapek not letting Kevin Feige run MCU as he did it in the past, as we now find out that Bob Chapek really had a stranglehold on Kevin Feige in Phase 4. So, I don't know.
The
That stuff
I heard he did was cut the budget.
Cut the budget. He didn't
change direction.
He made a management crew that was another person. He had to answer to somebody else. So there's no specifics yet on like what exactly, but there are a lot of inner rumors that he had to get permission to do, and some people are like, nah, you know.
That's why Doctor Strange was what it was.
That's what I'm thinking too. Like, Doctor Strange is a perfect example. Like, oh, that's too dark. You know, even for like Kevin Feige.
That's why they had to
Yeah.
do all those recuts and refilming and all that stuff, reshoots, because they said no, this is not going to go. This is still Disney, and instead of letting him just go and do what he was going to do, because now if Doctor Strange was what it should have been, if Moon Knight was what it should have been, I could get on board for an A-. This is definitely better than like Phase 2. Like, I'm not saying Phase 2 was awful. The ones where you said Thor: Dark World, the first Thor was terrible. Iron Man 2 was okay. 3 was
Iron Man
awful.
3 was Phase 2.
Was awful. I didn't like Captain America. Like, there's things like I didn't even like, ever. I thought, some of the stuff, some of the Avengers movies I didn't like. So, I mean, I'm not sitting there saying everything else was great, but it still kind of puts me at a B.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Phase 1 and 2, and it doesn't top Phase 4 because Phase 4 had 2 Avenger movies.
Phase 3.
Phase 3 had 2 Avenger movies. If this had an Avengers movie where all these stuff got tied in and wrapped up together, I think it would have, for me personally, I feel like with all these characters interacting for the first time, this would have topped Phase. It would have been equal probably to Phase 4 for me because it would have felt like that first Avengers.
Phase 3?
It would have felt like that first time we saw the Avengers and that, wow, all these characters that we just seen are interacting. And if it was done well, that's the only thing. If it was done well and it had the right director, Ryan Coogler, I think it would have just went, wow, okay, like I could forgive some of the pitfalls of the Phase if they did all this great stuff and got them together.
If you said I think Phase 1 was good. I think Phase 2 was awful. I think you wouldn't have gotten to Phase 2. I thought Phase 1 was Phase 2 was awful.
What is that? Yeah. Winter Soldier, one of the best MCU movies ever. Dark World, mediocre.
I like Dark World was
awful, man. What?
That's F. That's
I don't
F.
I don't think it's awful. I saw it in a movie theater and I liked it. It's not a great movie, but it's not awful. Malachi was just a bland villain, and I'm okay with that. The first couple Phases had a bunch of bland villains.
I think the first 2 Thors were awful. They didn't know what they were going to do with the character.
First 2 Thors. I think Thor 1 is still the best Thor movie, but that's a whole other conversation.
And then having the blonde eyebrows, and they didn't know what they were doing with the character yet.
They were trying to be a comic actor. I like Age of Ultron, Guardians 1. I feel like with Phase 1, I like the first Avengers, not great, but it's good. Iron Man's a classic. First Thor is good. Then we had Iron Man 2, which was not as good as Iron Man 1. Then we had Avengers, which is a classic. And then we had great movies in Phase 2 and some not so great. And then Phase 3 was
amazing.
Ant-Man,
Phase 3
Doctor
was just
Strange, Civil War.
Yeah.
Ant-Man and the Wasp was in.
I liked all the Ant-Man. Like, and even all the Spider-Man, No Way Home.
I like Captain Marvel a lot.
Far From Home, and just all those.
Far From Home is to me as well. He was just too stupid in that movie for me. But Infinity War and Endgame are on a whole.
He was kind of stupid in all 3 of them.
He's always stupid. That's why it's just.
I don't think he was that stupid in Homecoming.
I think he was. He kind of got faked out by everybody. Remember? Even with Vulture and he just was stupid.
But that's not his fault that he didn't know the secret identity of Vulture. Who's covered up from head to toe.
What was going on with Iron Man and what was going on with his Aunt May, just I think Phase 1 is good because we got so much in the Avengers was amazing, and everything you said about it being close to Phase 3, I don't think Phase 3, but I'll say that about Phase 1. I feel like this could have been as good as Phase 1 because I think this is what you really compare it to because it's trying to get you to a different storyline.
Interesting.
Yeah. Now I'm looking at the lineup for Phase 2. Iron Man 3 sucked. Thor: Dark World sucked. Winter Soldier, one of the best MCU movies. Guardians of the Galaxy, one of the best MCU movies. Avengers: Age of Ultron
was the worst Avengers movie.
Yeah,
but it is. You have a high bar there.
But every other phase has an Avengers movie, right? So it's not. I could say it's the worst of the Avengers movie. So that it kind of equals to each one.
It's a little bit above mid, and then Ant-Man. I loved Ant-Man. So I think we were focusing too much on Iron Man and Thor because those are trash.
Age of Ultron, but everyone hated too. I mean, it
That's
was
not
not
true.
good.
Which I didn't get. I
It made
didn't
$1
get
billion.
It made-
But then
it.
everyone
It
didn't
did,
hate.
but
It didn't make a
The-
billion.
You have to rewatch a movie
It made
multiple times for it to make
It didn't make
$1
$1 billion.
billion.
It didn't make a billion.
I'm
Age of
pretty sure
Ultron?
all Avenger movies made $1 billion.
I thought Age of Ultron was the only one that only made 9. I'm splitting hairs.
Okay.
Whatever.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I said it, and then I realized
I get
when
that you
said it, I was
don't.
like, never mind.
I get you don't like it. Yeah, it's 1.4 billion.
yeah, we're
I
like
get it. I like Age of Ultron a lot. It's not as good as the first Avengers because there's too much going on, but it's still to me was a great film. It
Isn't
set
it like
up a lot.
Isn't it the worst Avengers movie though?
Even the worst Avengers movies
Yeah.
better than a lot of people's movies.
yeah.
But I'm comparing it to other Avenger movies. I'm not comparing it to like the DC
Like-
movies. I'm not comparing it
But
to
like, okay, so like,
other
Don't
Avengers.
wait, stop comparing it to other Avenger movies. We're comparing it to MCU movies.
Well, no, I have
but
to.
even
because
that,
each
just it's
phase
the movie
has an
on its
Avenger movie.
own. The
Each
movie
phase
on
has
its
an
own
Avenger
is just really good. Like, let's not compare it to something else.
It's
Every phase has an Avengers movie. That's my
Except
point.
for
So I can
except for
compare.
4.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I mean, it was. I think it was better than some of the solo movies, But I think Winter Soldier was better than Age of Ultron. Guardians of the Galaxy better than Age of
Soldier's
Ultron.
better than Avengers.
Yeah. So
So-
It's like
my bad.
it's like saying the worst
ice cream at Baskin Robbins. Yeah,
Yeah.
like,
It
Yeah,
is,
yeah,
but we're comparing. It's like when we having this barbershop argument about who's the best basketball player of all time. Yes, I'm going to downplay somebody because I want to tell someone else is better. It doesn't mean you're not a great basketball player. Yes, I'm going to downplay one of these phases. Doesn't mean you're not a great phase. Doesn't mean you didn't have great movies. I just didn't like your phase more than this other phase. I'm not comparing it to other movies,
but if we're
other
comparing
franchises.
phase 1 to phase 2,
I think I phase 1 more because I think the first Avengers was mind blowing, and Iron Man, the beginning of
first
Iron Man,
Avenger was mind blowing.
seeing them all
Wow.
first like
The
first
first
time-
Avengers.
First Avengers.
team
You
up.
gotta remember,
and-
Captain America is called the first Avenger. I got confused.
Oh, no,
Yeah.
no, no,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
no. I told you I didn't like Captain America.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
I kind of rocked with the first Captain America.
Me too. I do.
I didn't like it.
I didn't like it. Here's phase 1. Iron Man, good. Incredible Hulk. Oh, not bad.
Oh,
Iron
we
Man
didn't
2.
even mention
like
that.
it.
That's how you know.
Yeah, exactly. We forget about it. Good,
I still
different
like it.
actors.
The Incredible Hulk. I liked it. Ed Norton,
Iron Man 2, I didn't care for. Thor, I didn't care for. Captain America,
like
First
that.
Avenger, I didn't care for. And then Marvel, The Avengers was great. I think there's better movies overall in phase 2 than phase 1.
Mm-hmm.
But the phase 1 movies are like memorable because they're the first ones.
I thought Iron Man was great.
Yeah. It's the type to say LeBron is the worst 23 to win the fight. He is.
You know, I would say that too. No.
He has said it. He has said it
have I
when we
said
talked
he's
about
the best?
basketball.
Well, no, I think LeBron is the third greatest player of all time. He's not first. So,
But the worst number 23.
so I was trying to think, did anyone else take number 23 to win an MVP title? I don't know.
I'm pretty sure no.
It might have been.
Yeah.
There was
That's
a lot of
why-
23s. You never know.
That's true. This
That's
is black
why
and white basketball I never watched. So you're right.
Hey, in the 80s, something might have happened. I don't know. I'm just saying. Michael Cooper might have did something special. I don't know. So I'm just saying.
Hey, really?
Yeah. So yeah, if I had to rank the phases, which is a cool video in itself, I would say phase 3, phase 4, phase 2, phase 1.
Wow.
I think 1 and 2 are a lot closer.
Yeah.
But because of Iron Man and the Avengers is why I always put phase 1 in front of phase 2. Because Iron Man, when I first saw it, I was like, this mind was blown. Like,
Yeah.
I can't believe what I saw. And then he said, I am Iron Man. I was all right. There it is. I'm hooked. Hook, line, and
Movie
sinker.
classic.
I think I saw that. I think I saw Iron Man 1 like 5 times in theater.
It's
Like,
the same
legit.
thing about the first
Yeah.
Avengers. That first Avengers movie was, I saw it, I was like, what? What did I just? I remember watching it and seeing it, and movie being over, and the people sweep up the popcorn are coming in, and I'm still sitting there like, what did I fucking just watch? It's like, this was amazing. And I think it might be just me having that bias, but I think that's enough to put it over Phase 2 for me. It has two bad movies. Phase 2 has two bad movies. And I just those first two ones are just in like the top tier for me because of what I saw and how it began my journey as far as in the MCU. But just to explain myself,
emotional,
but also
emotional
understanding
attachment.
what you guys are saying. You know.
Yeah.
All right. Anything, Brandon, you want to add to that before we get out of here?
Sorry, we're just talking too much over you.
My soliloquy. I'm sorry.
It's short essay.
I was just thinking I'd probably rank it Phase 3, Phase 1, Phase 4, and then Phase 2 is probably where I'd rank it.
That's exactly the same.
You know,
two at the end.
That's the same way I'll rank it. Because I like 4. I like 4.
Yeah.
Okay.
There were a lot of things about 4 I appreciated. It was kind of a tough call because really I don't dislike any of the phases. I think they have a lot of merits and downsides as with any. But yeah, that's where I'd rank it. And I'm kind of hoping that I'm really curious to see what Phase 5 brings. I still kind of hope there's still like some director influence here and there. Like I said, with Multiverse of Madness, but I kind of hope there's a little more consistency in terms of the writing and the content, moving forward. So we'll see what happens. Quantumania is in just a little under 3 months.
Ooh, yeah.
I think what a lot of MCU and casual fans forget is that movies are made by only directors. It's a complete effort by the producer, writer, and director and actors. And just giving reins to directors all the time without producer insight is a bad idea. We can see what happened with Taika. We can see what Sam Raimi. We can see it with Chloe Zhao. We can see those things. Even though I like the experimentation that happened before,
if they had a good, stronger producer, they would have reined them in a little bit. It would probably made a better movie. Just
like it's like look at the past MC movies and what worked. If you're going to experiment so much, you still need to carry some of that over in there so the fans are not turned off completely. Because now you're attracting people who don't maybe not usually watch MCU movies, but you're pushing away the people who really like MCU movies. So I think that's a thing that needs, because I love Zack Snyder. Like, he's one of my favorite directors. I know a lot of people don't like him, but I've never seen him make a bad movie for me personally. But also his producers rein him in because he wants to do some wild shit sometimes that I don't even agree with. But the producer's like, no, let's take a simpler route. And that's like a perfect example. Yeah.
I forgot where I heard it from, but somebody said directors, if it was up to a director, every movie would be like a 10-hour movie because they don't want to cut anything, and directors are just like that. And then the production, editing studios, they start to rein them in and stuff like that. So so if it was up to a director, we'll get the Snyder cut would be like 8 hours every movie. We'll get a 5 hours of them just screaming Martha.
And the problem with Nolan sometimes, like what's the name? Somebody need to rein him in on Tenet. Like, bro, come on.
I don't know what you're talking about. That was a great movie.
I love Tenet.
Hey, just turn up the volume a little bit, like you said.
You could actually hear people saying in it.
Hear what someone said? Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I put the microphone in a way that we can actually hear what they're saying.
So Zach, thank you for joining us. Give another shout out to your channel.
Subscribe to Zach Reviews. I do reviews of movies, television shows, ranking lists of movies and television shows. I react to trailers, and I do big movies like the stuff that we're talking about here, and also do indie movies like A24, Neon, and such. So check out my channel. I'm about to have a flood of reviews coming out, and subscribe.
There you go. So make sure you check out Zack Attack Reviews. Go over there, show some love, hit that sub button, and while you're doing that, make sure you hit the sub button here at Spoiler Kings. On our way to 1,000, so we gotta get that. And congrats, Zach Johnson, on the giveaway. Yeah, there you go. So wrong Zach. You're almost that close, man. Unless your last name is Johnson,
no,
then
it's
only
not.
the H and the K. All right. But all right. Oh man. But next time. Appreciate everyone coming in, hanging out, getting us to 500. And thank you. And let's get out of here. Later.
Don't forget to like and subscribe. We out here.